Hello everyone, this is Olga from Kanbanchi team and our regular webinar Kanbanchi for Teams and Collaboration. So today you will learn how your team can benefit from using Kanbanchi and what are the key values of the application. First of all, I would like to say that I will be talking for approximately 20 minutes explaining the features and values of Kanbanchi, and this webinar will be recorded. So feel free to rewatch it anytime if you don't have time right now. After the webinar, you will be able to ask your questions. Please type them in the chat box near this YouTube window. So let's not waste time. I'm sharing my screen and start talking about Kanbanchi. Okay. So now you should see our website. Here you can sign up if you are new to Kanbanchi or log in if you are already our user. Just click the sign in button and you will be redirected to the application. If you are new to Kanbanchi, you will be asked to log in with your Google account, and also you will be asked to grant several permissions to access certain parts of your Google account. Please grant all permissions so that the application could work properly, because Kanbanchi is integrated with Google ecosystem and is actually a part of Google ecosystem. So I'm not asked for permissions because I've already given them. And you can see the list of my boards that I've created. I will just pick the demo board and the new board for you. So here I would like to explain a little bit more about Google Drive integration. Actually, Kanbanchi is a part of your Google Drive. So all the files, all the boards are stored in your Google Drive. What exactly happens on the Drive side? When you install Kanbanchi, Kanbanchi creates a folder in your Google Drive. As you can see now, the folder is named Kanbanchi as well. If you go inside the folder, you will find subfolders which will be named after each board that you will create. Inside the folder, you will find the board itself and some more subfolders for assets. These are files that you will attach from your computer. So, as you can see, everything is stored within your Google Drive. This is very secure because everything is on Google Cloud and everything is in your own Google Drive. So you own all your files, you own all your Kanbanchi boards. Okay, let's go back to the application itself. This is the new board. When you create a new board, you will see the same interface that you see right now. And you start with a classical Kanban board. For those of you who are familiar with Kanban methodology, probably this looks very familiar. So you start with 3 lists: to do, doing, and done. This is a classical Kanban board which represents the stages of any workflow, like some tasks that you need to do, some tasks that are in progress right now, and some tasks that are already done. In each list, you can create cards by simply clicking the plus button and creating a card. Cards typically represent tasks, so I will just put task 1 to show you. Task 2, task 3, well, however many tasks you may have. When you are working, you can easily move them between lists. For example, I'm working on task 1, and then I'm done with task 1. That's very simple and very intuitive, but of course your projects, when you're working, will look more complex. And perhaps your boards will look more like this one. You can see that the board is more complex, more lists, more cards, more other properties of the cards that I will go and explain right now. Okay, so as you can see, you can rename lists. We started with to do, doing, and done. Here we have ideas, research, whatever else you want to have. Kanbanchi is very flexible, so you can adjust the application to almost any workflow that you have. Lists can represent stages, lists can represent people, departments, different processes. Well, again, it depends on your workflow, it depends on what type of organization you have, what's your team. Well, you can adjust the application to whatever you need. Um, Let me start with three key values. First of all, it's a project planning. One of Kanbanchi features, which is very important for teams, is planning projects. Well, some of departments are more into project planning, some of them are not, but still everyone wants to keep track on tasks and to know where you all are. What about project planning? Probably the most important feature will be the Gantt chart. So you remember that we start with a Kanban board, but we can switch to another view, which is the Gantt chart. Again, probably some of you are familiar with Gantt charts, some of you probably know nothing about them, but basically it's a chronological order of the tasks. Here you can see the chronology, a calendar. So now today is September 6th, and you can see the red frame on September 6th. I can zoom in and zoom out a little bit for a better view. Okay, so now I'm adjusting. And you can see the tasks in a chronological order. They are sorted by date. So you can see which tasks go first, which tasks go after them. Let me explain the meaning of the colors here. The green bars represent tasks that are already done, and you can see they are marked as done. Blue bars are tasks that are in progress. So probably these are tasks that you are working on right now, or you haven't even started. If you start a task, there is a progress bar here, like 50%, which means that 50% of this task is already done. I will explain later how we calculate that. This is based on checklists. And purple bars. Purple bars represent represent epic cards, and epic cards are those cards that have subcards. I will again explain this feature in depth later. And also you will see the red sign overdue if your task is overdue and shouldn't have been already done. Okay, this is about the Gantt chart. And again, I should say that those departments or those people in your team who are very keen on managing projects or who are responsible by their role, responsible of project planning, can use this view often, and they can even like work every day in this view. What you can do? You can move tasks. If you want to change the start or due date of the task, you just drag the edge of the bar. Here we can see the start date is September 27. For example, I can change it to September 19 or whatever else. I'm just dragging the edge of the bar and changing this. And again, the due date as well, the same thing. This is how I'm working on planning. Okay, this view is integrated with the previous one. So all the changes that you make on the Gantt chart will be reflected on the Kanban board and vice versa. all the changes that you make on a Kanban board will be reflected on the Gantt chart. So if I switch to the Kanban view again, I will see the changes of the start and due date of that card that I was changing on the Gantt chart view. Okay, this Kanban view is the second aspect of Kanbanchi, which is very important for teams. This view can be used for everyday work on tasks and collaboration with your colleagues. So those people or those departments who doesn't need to plan projects often, but they mostly need to view their tasks to keep up with the workflow, to understand what they're doing, what their colleagues are doing, what they should be doing next, and who is on what stage, for example. They might probably mostly work in the Kanban view. This is where you can see all the cards, all the tasks that your team has. This is where you can communicate about these tasks. And if you open any card, you will see that the cards have various properties. Let me open this green card. Okay, first of all, the card has the title, which typically means the task you need to do. You can add description, for example, explaining the task better, how to do it, like who should do what. Well, again, it depends on your workflow. Here are color tags. We have several color tags that you can change. You can change their names and use them again however your team needs. For example, here you can see different projects and stages of the projects. Okay, you can change the color of the card itself. So this is a green card. You can change the color. It will be a blue card. Again, this is for better visualization and organization of your processes on board. You can make some cards outstanding with their colors to emphasize something, to let somebody know that this card is, for example, very important. Again, Kanbanchi is very flexible, so we have several features that you can use for your workflow, and you can adjust the application for your needs. You can add related cards, which typically represent tasks that are somehow connected, so you can understand that this task is connected to another one. You can add subcards. I will again explain this feature in depth later. You can add priority from low to critical. Well, priority is like understandable. So some tasks are of high priority, some tasks are of low priority. So you can just choose them, and you can sort by priority in your lists. You can assign cards to different people in your team. To assign people, you need to share your board first with those people. Here is the blue share button, and if you open the sharing settings, this will be very familiar for you because this is from Google Drive sharing settings. As I've already said, Kanbanchi boards are files in your Google Drive. So you can share them like any other files in your Google Drive. Just type your colleague email address and click the Done button. So then the board is shared with your colleagues and you can assign tasks to them. You can set start and due dates. Yes, here from Kanban view, you can set start and due dates as well. And you can choose if you want this card to be shown on the Gantt chart. You can add predecessor or successor to your card to understand which goes first, which goes next. So if you choose the predecessor of the card, like let me do this, you can change the type of dependency. And you will see the arrow between those cards. Okay, if you don't want it, just remove it. You can add checklists if you have some steps to perform to make this task done, like first, second, third step, whatever, and you remember that there is a percentage on the Gantt chart, and also here on the Kanban view you can see the same percentage. If you click on several steps, you can see that this card is partly done, then more percents, and finally the card is done. Okay, so another property is tagging system. You can add tags to your cards, and tags are up to you. You can come up with different tags that you need. Again, this is for structuring your board, for organizing processes. You can attach files from your Google Drive or from your computer, or from your team drives if you have them. Well, any type of files, sheets, documents, presentations, pictures, whatever. You can see that there are several files attached here. You can see previews of the file. You can see who attached this file with this user icons next to the date of the attachment. And then there is a comment section where you can leave your comments about tasks, comments, and click send button. And you can see this comment here. Also, you can see time here. I will explain where this time comes from later. Okay, so you can see that the card has various properties that, again, you can use for better organization of your processes, better communication between your team members, for the visualization of the processes, which makes the whole routine smooth and easy and understandable for everyone in a team. Okay, let me quickly go to the third point that I want to highlight. And I've already mentioned that this is collaboration. Kanbanchi is made for collaboration. Comments on cards, real-time changes, notifications, these are all for collaboration. I've already shown you comments, and here you can see the bell sign notification and the red figure 1, which means that I have one unread notification. Here it is. Someone commented on a card, and I haven't seen that. I can click on it and go to this card, scroll to the comment, and understand that to see someone finish this task. Well, congratulations. Okay, and let me go back to the notification center. Here are all the notifications that I had about the activities on the board that I have. When someone creates a card, assign a person, change the title, description, add comments, I receive notification. I can choose to receive notifications only for this current board or for all the boards. It's just up to you. And this all happens in real time, which again is made for better collaboration. Like, for example, you have a team of 10, 15, 40 people working on the board, and everything happens in real time. So you can be on track, you can keep up with tasks and understand who is doing what, and be aware of the changes and reply quickly. This is very helpful when you work with the team. Okay. So this is all about the main 3 values of Kanbanchi. Let me explain those features that I've told you I will be explaining later. So the first one was subcards. And you've already seen that there is the option of having a checklist, but you cannot assign a checklist item to different people. This is probably where you would need subcards, because subcards are cards and they can be assigned to different people. Okay, let me show you this card. You can see that this card has a crown mark, which means that this is the epic card, and it has subcards. Next to the crown sign, here is the figure 6, which means that the card has 6 subcards. If I hover my mouse to the 6 figure, you see that some of the cards are marked with the yellow frame. These are the subcards of this epic card. And if I open this card, I see all 6 subcards listed here. So these are all subcards of this epic card. I can easily switch between them. For example, I want to go to this subcard. I click on it and it opens. And then I want to go back to the epic card. I just click on the name of the epic card and I go back to the epic card. Again, this is made for collaboration. This is made for structuring your processes. And let me go back to the subcard. This is the independent card with all the properties that a card can have, and I can assign it to someone. So let's imagine that you have a very complex task, and for example, this task involves like 10 people working on it, but they don't necessarily need to communicate or to understand who is doing what. They, for example, need to do their own part. And then you might probably want to split it into subcards and to assign these subcards to different people. Okay, this is the subcards feature. Another feature that I would like to show you is a list view. This is the third view that we have. Kanban view, you remember, Gantt chart for planning projects, and the list view. Let's go to the list view. Here is the simple list of all the cards on the board. Well, old list, old familiar list that might probably be the best option for some of you. It shows you all the tasks in familiar way with the name of the task here, the progress bar, and some properties of cards that you might want to see. If you go to the settings, you may choose what properties you want to see. Well, this just for you to have, or you to show you the whole picture, the number of tasks that you have in this project. Okay, let's switch back to the Kanban view. And I want to pass on the next feature, which is the time tracker. So you've seen these comments with time, and now I will show you where they come from. When you open any card, there is a timer on the main panel here. So I'm starting the timer and it keeps going. It means that I'm working on this task. So I'm doing something and the timer is going and going and going. And then when I'm done, I'm just clicking the stop button. And here is the window to save progress. I can add comments, for example, working hard, and I can edit my time if I got interrupted, if I forgot to add some minutes or hours. I can edit it. For example, 2 hours, H stands for hours, and 15 minutes, M stands for minutes. And save progress. So this time will appear as a comment. Here you can see Olga, 2 hours, 15 minutes, working hard. And also you will see the same time in the timing section of the card. This is where you will see everyone who worked on this task and how much time someone spent totally on this task. Again, this depends on your workflow, but some teams are very keen on time, this is very crucial for you. But even if this is not very crucial for your team, this is a good feature to understand how much time goes to which tasks are probably time consuming. And this also helps to estimate better, because when you know how much time you spent for a particular task, then you will know how much time it will take in future to make the same task. Okay, of course, I should mention another feature that we have. It's making cards from email, because some of you might probably be on the go, and probably you don't have your computer with you all the time, but you want to create cards. And if you go to the board settings, you will see the dashboard email. Just copy all these symbols. This is the board email. So I'm copying it, and go to your email client, which is Gmail in my case. So here I can compose an email, and I just copy this address, or I can save it to my contact list. This is already saved to my contact list, so I'm just adding this contact. I'm typing the subject, which is the name of the card. I will just put card from email to show you. Then I can add description, which is the text of the email. And also here I can even attach files. Let me attach something. Do I have any documents? Okay, so I've attached this document here, and I'm clicking send. So the system refreshes every 15 seconds, so perhaps you need to wait up to 15 seconds, and this card will appear in the first list as a first card. When you are on the go, you can create those cards from email, and then later, when you have access to your computer, you can reorder them, you can copy them, well, you can organize your board. This happens in real time, so we're just waiting for 15 seconds. The card should appear. So you see this card here, it appeared. Card from email, description. And also we have our attachment here. And the tag. The tag will be from email. Of course, you can change it. You can remove the tag. You can add any other properties for cards, colors, whatever, and organize these cards as regular Kanbanchi cards. So you can see that Kanbanchi is a valuable tool for G Suite companies because it has a familiar interface and it works with your Google Drive. It integrates with Google applications, with Gmail, with Google Calendar. I haven't shown you, but I will do now. Start and due dates can be pushed to your Google Calendar, as you can see. So it's integrated with the Google Calendar. Okay, pretty much this is all that is valuable for teams and makes your collaboration smooth and easy. And now we have some time for questions. If you have some questions, just type them in the chat box and I will try to answer them at the moment. And while I'm waiting for your questions, let me tell you that we have a YouTube channel that you can easily find. Just search Kanbanchi in YouTube. Here we have tutorials. They are step-by-step tutorials that can help you to sign up and set up your boards and start working. Please check them out and subscribe to our channel. stay updated. We publish information about new releases there as well. If you feel like you want to adopt Kanbanchi for your company, please feel free to reach out to me and use the website contact form. Well, whatever. Um, we can organize the individual demo for you and for your team, for example. Of course, the regular webinar cannot cover everything, and probably you want to learn Kanbanchi more in depth. And I'm also reminding you that this webinar will be recorded and it will be available with the same link. So you can rewatch it, you can share it with your colleagues. Okay, I don't see any questions. Do you really don't have them? Well, probably for the first time, you just need to explore Kanbanchi and to understand it better. Okay. Um, Please feel free to reach out to us and ask your questions. Okay. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.